Hello, good day. Um, let's talk about Article 31 of the Civil Code of the Philippines. It stated that when the civil action is based on an obligation not arising from the act or omission complained of as a felony, such civil action may proceed independently of the criminal proceedings and regardless of the result of the latter. Breakdown of the key concept. When civil action, it is a legal claim or lawsuit that seeks to resolve a dispute between individuals typically involve matters like compensation for damages, breach of contract, or other civil rights violations. Another is obligation not arising from the act or omission complained of as a felony. This means that the civil action in question is not based on the criminal act itself, the felony, but rather on the separate civil obligation. For example, a civil action for damages due to negligence, property disputes, or contractual issues could be separate from criminal charges. Even if there is a felony involved, such as theft, assault, or fraud, the civil claim might be for restitution or compensation outside of the scope of the law. When say independent of criminal proceedings, it is the civil case can move forward regardless of what happens in the criminal trial. This means that the outcome of the criminal case, whether the defendant is convicted or acquitted, does not directly affect the progress or resolution of the civil case. For example, even if a defendant is acquitted of a crime, the victim can still pursue a civil lawsuit for damages caused by the act. Another, irrespective of the result of the criminal case, if the criminal case is dismissed or accused is acquitted, this not prevent the civil case from continuing or being resolved. Similarly, a criminal conviction does not automatically resolve the civil aspect of the case. This ensures that civil remedies are available regardless of the outcome of the criminal process. A person may be found not guilty of a crime but still be liable in a civil court if, for example, their action caused harm or damage to another. Another example, imagine a scenario where um, a person accused of committing fraud by mispresenting financial information which cause a financial loss for another individual, the state brings criminal charges against the accused. And another, in the scenario of civil case, the victim of the alleged fraud also sues the accused for damages in a civil court, claiming that they lost money due to the fraudulent action. According to Article 31, the victim's civil action for damages can proceed independently for the criminal prosecution for fraud. Even if the criminal court acquits the defendant, perhaps because of insufficient evidence for the crime, the civil court can still decide whether the defendant should be compensate the victim for the loss suffered the result of the criminal trial will not affect the victim's ability to seek compensation through the criminal lawsuit. Why is this article is important? Um, Legal distinction between civil and criminal cases. In civil or criminal cases are distinct and have different objectives. Criminal law addresses violation of public law and aims to punish offender, while civil law focuses on resolving private disputes and compensating victims. This provision underscores that one type of legal proceedings does not interfere with the other. Victims' right. Victims of an act, whether criminal or otherwise, have the right to pursue compensation or redress on civil court even if the person responsible is not convicted in criminal court. This ensures that the people still recover damages even in cases where criminal charges may fail. Ensuring justice. The provision promotes fairness by ensuring that a person's rights are not dependent solely on the outcome of a criminal trial. Sometimes the standard of proof in criminal cases beyond a reasonable doubt is much higher than in civil cases. This allows victims to seek justice through a civil action if they cannot meet the higher criminal standard. Conclusion. In Article 31 affirms the independence of civil and criminal proceedings. It allows a civil action to continue even if it is based on a situation involving a felony, and it ensures that the civil case is not affected by the result of the criminal trial. This ensures victims can still seek compensation or restitution in civil court even if the accused is acquitted or the criminal case is dismissed. And that's all.